It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So by now you know that I think Marcus Smart needs to stick around. I like Smart. I don't know if it's the former player in me that believes in him so much, but I would go to war with him every day because I know that guy's got my back. I know that guy is going to come out there and bust his ass. I know that he is looking to accomplish the same thing we're all looking to accomplish, which is win games. That's his number one priority. Now, that's a lot of people's priorities. And not every player is worth keeping around while trying to accomplish that. I get that. And so with Smart, it's a question of what's his true value to this franchise. Brad Stevens has coached Smart his entire 7 years in the league. He knows every bit of how hard Smart works. He knows every last detail of Smart's impact on the team, how he's received by the players, how he works with his coaches, all of that. He knows everything. More than you know, more than I know, for sure. He has the absolute dossier on Marcus Smart. So what Brad Stevens decides to do with Marcus Smart now suddenly answers all of our questions when it comes to what's his value to this team. Because his former coach is now the president of basketball operations. And if Brad Stevens decides to take any one of a number of roads, it will give us the insight that we're looking for. Marcus can sign an extension. The Celtics, Brad Stevens, can come up with an extension offer for Smart this summer and say, we value you. We value you to a point where we want to keep you. And so if Brad Stevens comes out and offers Smart an extension, then all of the haters out there are going to have to acknowledge that Smart has extraordinary value to this team. And all of the stuff that you're criticizing him for don't matter. Those things don't matter to the Celtics. The stuff that he does outweighs by a great margin the stuff that he doesn't do. They could just keep him and say, you know what? We're going to stick around. We're not going to trade you. We want to keep you. We'll talk about your contract next year, which would say if they're not just shopping him around, that means that, hey, we believe in you, we love you, trust you, and all of that stuff. But let's get a sense of what the market is. Let's see you work on a couple of these things. So that's the next tier down, right? That they say, look, we're not going to trade you. We're not just going to give you away, but we're not going to extend you either because maybe the shooting, maybe the injuries, because he has had a few injuries. Maybe the hot-headedness, he is known to pop off. If any of those things are still a concern, then they might just say, we're not going to trade you, but we'd like to see these improvements, and then we can talk contract next summer. Okay, fine. If they shop him around and they just say, Marcus Smart's available, he's on the market, Woj bomb drops, Celtics are shopping Marcus Smart in a deal, then that's the other way, right? They're shopping him. They're done. Not done, but they're willing to just say, hey, what are you willing to give us for Marcus Smart? And if they basically dump him for nothing, then the haters, the quote unquote haters, are right. Then the people who have criticized him soundly, roundly, loudly have had a point. that proves them wrong, proves them right, proves people like me wrong. I would obviously be surprised if that's the case. I would be surprised if they just start shopping Smart, but that's the option. And then there is the, hey, we didn't want to part with Marcus Smart, but Damian Lillard came available. Bradley Beal came available. Karl Anthony Towns became available. And we not only needed his contract to make the numbers work, he was a guy that they asked for. And that's where I fall in a trade scenario. I don't want to just salary dump Marcus Smart like some people do. I do not want to shop him and make a lateral move because he does have an elite skill. He didn't get a Defensive Player of the Year vote this year. Deservedly so. He didn't deserve a Defensive Player of the Year vote this year. I think under normal circumstances, he will have, gotten a few, and he might still be on the all defense team. Like, I think there's going to be, just listening to other writers talk, people with votes, they're going to put Marcus Smart on their all defense team. So first team, second team, whatever it is, he's going to be on there. And so he still has a tremendous amount of value. That elite skill is not something you just give up. So whichever direction Brad Stevens goes is going to give us the answer. That one thing that a lot of Celtics fans have been fighting about. How valuable is Marcus Smart? Really, truly, honestly, to this franchise? Brad Stevens will answer that question this year, this summer, by how he handles Marcus Smart. That's going to be it. So someone's going to get proven right. Someone's going to get proven wrong. And we'll see. I should actually say, I'll extend it between this summer and next summer. Because they could push it off, not offer him in a deal, whatever, and then next summer we'll see what kind of contract they offer him if they don't give him an extension this summer. My expectation is that second tier, not trade him unless it's for a star, and see what they can get on the market, see what the open market brings next summer, and try to negotiate a deal then. Risky because he'd be an unrestricted free agent. There's no restricted free agency like the last time to kind of to hold over his head and not hold over his head, but negotiating tactic. So that's my expectation. I don't think he gets traded. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in a rumored package that someone drops or speculates, but I think he's around for the season, and they talk about it next summer. Whatever Brad Stevens does, though, it's going to be very telling